Hey guys, welcome back to the layout. I know it's been like eons since I've done anything. Probably about over a year, I think, is the last time I did an update. So I wanted to show you guys what I've been working on, and I got a lot. So if you guys remember this scene, this kind of was the overpass, and then it moved into the Newport yard. So this past October, I want to say, I got the ambition to finally get the rest of the basement kind of cleaned up, and I moved into adding the last section on. Now, I know I told you guys I think I was going to leave the section, and then I was going to add what would be like Montreal staging or something, but I decided to nix that, and I decided to actually put in a real Newport yard. Essentially, as close as I could get it to fit in this area is what I did. So I'm going to first show you guys what we're doing here. The plans for this scene are just, I continued my little maintenance away access road. So this is just tile grout and dirt. Now, if you guys don't have any experience with tile grout, it is like cement trying to get it up. So if you don't have any experience with it, I would highly suggest doing something like dirt. But it does have a fantastic color for the parking lots. Now this was just put down today, so you got to give it some time to dry. It's still wet, but once it dries, it'll look essentially like that. So it'll look really good once it's done. I added that little access road, and then I have trailer parking now finally for pulling grain. So I'm gonna have a lot of trailers sitting here, maybe some contractors, some yard tractors, and then the typical pulling grain in and out. And the operations are still the same and everything. Nothing's getting affected with that. The only difference is now I actually have a yard that has a run through, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. I'm not continuing this layout any farther, but just so you guys can see. But anyway, so I did do is I kept the old bridge I had from the overpass scene because I liked it so much. I know it doesn't look prototypical as far as where the abutments are to the bridge and everything, but I liked it a lot, so I wanted to keep it, and I really wanted to kind of force perspective here, and keep this scene. So I'm going to add trees and everything back to it to kind of hide that between the scenes. But for right now, that's what we did. I added some moss texture to the abutments and weathered them pretty heavily. This bridge would be here for a couple of decades, so it'd be pretty beaten up. I'm going to finish up the ground, the asphalt here. As you can see, I still got to fill the gaps in there and stuff. But this will all be covered in trees. So the plan is I'm just going to have this. So essentially, if you look down the road here, you're just going to see trees. And then once you get out to the railroad, you'd see the railroad. So we come over this road, and then this is another fictional. Well, this isn't fictional. I just pushed the envelope with it of compression. This is about 30, 60 miles south of Newport. They have like these little pond areas. I wanted to include it. I just think it looks cool with the little bridge. And then I'll even put up a little fence here for the switchman so he doesn't fall into the swamp here. But it's gonna be a really nice opening scene. Then we have some maintenance away repairs. This is Gray Court in Newport. This kind of like loops around, follows the tracks a lot. So I wanted to include something like that. I might add some trees and like a house or something, like a face of a house here. And I'm still working on it. So then we come into Newport Yard itself. So we have a switch ladder. This will be the main yard lead ladder. And again, the other thing I thought about doing was adding more trackage over here, and then kind of compressing it. But it just didn't look good to me, so I decided to do is just keep it as it is for switching purposes. And I can do as much drilling anyway. And the main point I wanted to have is that I could actually have the main line and a siding track, so I can actually have either trains meet prototypically or stage trains appropriately. So the bigger trains, the local trains, they can all get staged. In the back there, I just added some hills, some little house. The dirt there, that's eventually just going to be static grass, and then obviously more trees and such as we go along. Then a little farm scene. I'm going to cover that in trees as well, so you'll be able to see it through the yard. And then we come over here. This is downtown Newport. Excuse me. This will be all trees, tall grass. We'll come around here. Excuse this mess here. This is going to be the lake. I don't even know the name of the lake in Newport, but essentially has a lake. I made it run through because it's going to be easier instead of having like bulge out or abruptly stop. So this will be like a nice river lake scene. I'm going to have a wooden trestle here, and then some fake abutments or some old abutments, and then that'll continue on. And a little downtown section. One thing I did find in Model Railroad Hobbyist, I'm sorry. They have Satriales, from The Sopranos. I live in New Jersey, so I thought that's like perfect. So I'm gonna put little Satriales there, make a little homage to The Sopranos there. But and then I'm gonna have all my nice mains away scenes and stuff. You guys can see I've already started weathering the track. I got about to the sanding tower is close. I ran out of pan pastel rust color. Excuse the box car jittering. I gotta clean the wheels on it. But hold on one sec, guys. Sorry about that. So anyway, so it's very simple construction. I just did 4x4, 2x4s, and then the foam on top. Really, that's it. So, and you guys can tell now this thing's heavy. It's not going anywhere. And then I just filled in gaps and everything else. And this is all Newport yard. So this is as it was. The turntable is not functioning. I didn't really see the need to motorize it for like $300 just to turn and locomotive around. I do plan on putting track in on it and probably using it at some point. I'm going to have car repair here, maintenance away here, all my maintenance away trucks and everything else is going to come back to the layout. Obviously, I still have to detail the scenes and everything too, but I have to get to a phase of where I can say that the outside scenery is complete and actually run the trains and then add the detail to it. So that's the biggest thing. I ordered all my static grass stuff this week, so it's coming, should be here Tuesday. So I'm going to go completely crazy with that stuff because that's going to be like the thing that I have to move all the cars out. And then once that's done, everything else is just poking holes and putting trees or, like I said, detailing scenes. So that'll be that's like the last phase of this. And then everything else is just kind of groundwork up. So I added like the yard office. I'm buying a new one of these because this building's just kind of falling apart. But it's a BLMA yard office. Normally the real one's brick, but like I said, I'm trying to get as close as I can without, blowing my budget here. So I'm leaving all the same type of layout as far as the yard goes before. With the only thing I don't have is a caboose track. Something I thought about later on. But so we have our Boston to main power, the CP bigger power, and then the yard switchers. So the yard switcher kind of takes here, local power, and then larger trains. So that'll be it's kind of the only downfalls. I can't store as much power, but I still have a huge engine yard lead track, and I can store right now. I think it's 43 cars in the yard, and I still have some room. I could probably add another 3 or 4 propane cars or something there. That's a lot. So, but it's about 16 tracks on the outside from switch to switch. So from this switch over here to that switch fully and passable, 16 cars. So the most cars I generally run are 14. So when you add the engines in and everything else, we're pretty good. And plus now what I can actually do is actually have the trains run up to, say, this switch, go in the siding and leave the car. So when the operator, when they're using the yard, they don't get overwhelmed. Before, it's like you kind of get overwhelmed if you don't do one maneuver right, you're screwed. Here, that's a different story. The other thing I'm probably going to add, and you can see too, that guys, this is the other crazy thing, is the St. John's Bear I have here is completely, is almost empty. So once I run one train down, we're leaving at least a track or two open. So it looks good. I mean, that's the thing that I'll say. I'm pretty proud of it, considering I think this is week 5. So I went from nothing, complete rip out of that section, to this in about 5 weeks. And I've been doing like something, if I can do an hour a day, it's more progress. So I still have to add other things too, like I already did grass the turntable, but I want to add a thicker coat. This was with a non-static grass applicator. This is one of those like spray applicators. It's like a thing is shaking, you put it down. I didn't like how it came out, so I ordered a new one. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys more posted. I'll keep you guys more up to date now. The other thing in my current life situation now is I went from a job where I was working 5 or 6 days a week basically now, and now I'm down to 4. So I have a lot of free time. So this is why it's kind of taking me that. So right now currently off Thursday, Friday, and Sundays, so I'm kind of banging through as much as I can. And again, like the stuff that I've been using is super cheap. You know, the most expensive stuff I've had so far has been the track and switches. So that's kind of where the break in the bank came in. But everything else has been very quick moving. So, and I know how I want the scenery done, so it's kind of the difference too. I'm not experimenting. The only thing I am experimenting with is dirt roads. So I got these AK Innovations, I think is the company. They're light terrain earth. I'm trying this for the dirt roads. I'm gonna see if I can paint it and see if it looks good. But I'll see how that goes, because applying dirt, no matter what, especially in like the winter when you have heat in the basements and stuff, it just starts cracking like this. And it kind of, you have to really thin coat it and then let it dry and then add another thin coat. It takes a long time. Like over here, I had to go, we're making grade crossings out of this. It's taking forever. I want something that could seal it, hopefully paint it, and then it'll make it look good. So, and the other thing I tried from them, I threw the thing out, but it's called like asphalt terrain diorama, whatever it is. This stuff is so good. This probably is about, I would say, like the thickness is probably about the size of a putty knife. That's how thin that is, but it looks like really good. And then when you sand it, and if say you painted it black or like a dark gray color, it looks just like asphalt. So if you, my suggestion to you guys, if you ever use this stuff again, I read the instructions pretty thoroughly, but I didn't get exactly how to do it. So what I did was I added a little bit of water to it, mixed it, and I applied it very liberally. And once you sand it up after that, it looks just like worn asphalt. So that's what I would say next time. I didn't buy a ton of it. I put some over here, and I kind of went a little wonky with it, so I'm gonna buy more and add some more. You can see obviously it's just like, it's very thick and cracked and everything, but what I want to do is add another layer to it. I kind of ran out. It doesn't have as much as I would like, but you know, just to try, it wasn't bad. So like I said, I'm trying the other stuff that they make too. Their stuff so far has been incredible. I would highly recommend it. So, but look into that if you guys are interested. But anyway, I just want to keep you guys updated, send something out. I'm not dead. I'm slowly getting there. So any questions, comments, anything like that, you know, post them down below. I'll try and get back to you with it. So, all right, guys. See you next time.